Spirit of the webcam. Spirit. Hello, everybody. I'm just asking the spirit of Telstra and the spirit of NBN to give me perfect connection. Spirit of my laptop and spirit of my webcam to have perfect connection. And just smudge myself. How are we all doing? So I got a lovely little gift in the mail today, and it's a little tester of Pure Rose, and it's a little roller, and it was sent from Leonie. Leonie Featherstone, who has, I think it's the Wednesday morning slot, which she's just amazing. So she does the doTERRA oils, and she's just the nicest of women. So if you know anyone that's wanting to get into doTERRA and you want like a really good, and I don't do doTERRA, by the way, but if you want to be successful in something like that, you need a good person that's above you, that's like actually treats it like a business, not just a hobby. She's amazing. So I get like these little gifts every now and then when we do things. So I'm just going to put some of that on instead of my Paleo Center oil, and some of my throat chakra, so that I speak the truth to all you divine ladies. Maybe some of the heart too, just because it reminds me of like Mother Mary. How have we all been doing? How's your Friday night going? What have you been up to? Now, I'm just going to smudge my cards as well before we get into doing some readings. So I just wanted to tell you that on the February the 28th, I'm got an online workshop with Ursula and Nicole, which I did the 3 days self-love with, which was really successful, and the best feedback from it. It was really lovely. And so it's going to be $49 for a 3-day online workshop, and you can have access to it afterwards as well. And I'm not sure if I've got the details in the description for that. Actually, I might have to put it in afterwards. So the first part's going to be Ursula going through a Kali Ma energy process with the Sword of Truth, and really cutting away, and you make that declaration. I want to let go of all this stuff. I want to let go of this pattern, this fear, this block. You make an actual declaration. And then Nicole's going to take us through like detoxing for the body and soul. Like when you make that declaration, what comes next, what's going to come up for you, and how can you support yourself physically and mentally and energetically. And then I'm going to go third in the third hour, and I'm going to be talking about how to make that commitment. So how to create your own ceremonies, how to create your own talisman, how to really work with setting that intention and staying with that intention and pushing through so that you stay committed. So actually super excited about it. I'll have to put the details in the descriptions later on. So the only other thing I'll say before I get into the readings is I've actually I'm launching a group coaching program in April the 5th, and I've got a sign-up bonus for anyone that signs up beforehand. They get an extra month worth of coaching for free. So there's 3 and 6 months coaching options in the group coaching, and I'll take everyone through the full offer, but you can book in for a few chats, like just a brief chat, no obligation, a loving chat. And how I help people is with their archetypes. So these cards here, these are my way of introducing archetypes to people, but my real passion is having people understand this sabotaging system. So the self-esteem suite, so the victim, the child, the prostitute, and the saboteur. How do they get stuck in their patterns, their cycles, and you can't seem to get out no matter what? You've got fears of being seen, fears of blocks, fears of talking, doing lives like I am now. Things hold you back from stepping up into your purpose. And it's all tied in with your self-esteem system. And then I teach them about the soul esteem archetypes and the archetypes that you can call in. And like, it's really beneficial to have someone to go to and go like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And I can tell you archetypally what pattern you're in. And I can say, that's your perfectionist. That's your shapeshifter. That's your martyr. That's your addict. Like, it can really unpack and understand what's going on and give you the tools needed in order to shift out of that. So I call myself a business and self-esteem coach, because part of it is very much, a lot of people attracted to me who are really trying to step up with their businesses. Their business is either stalled because they've got a self-esteem issue and blocks, and not understanding how to manifest and really take action. But then on the other side of the spectrum, I do help people with understanding relationship issues, their archetypes. Why are they constantly triggered? Why do people, seem to have like go, 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 and then they stall, procrastinate, fall away and do nothing? Those kinds of things. So that's my calling, that's my passion. And I'm really, really so impressed with this package that I have created. So if you're curious in any way, or the person I've just described sounds like somebody there's a fantastic sign-up bonus that's never going to be given ever again. So the link is in my group, and I invite you to reach out and have a chat. Okay, let's get into the readings. Doodar. Just smudge those cards one last time. Okay. Let's have a look. I'm going to go with Jenna Vost. Okay. Now, I've had some quirky internet issues, but I've just smudged and I've asked the spirit of NBN to be good. So hopefully everything will be fine. But there is normally a little bit of a lag anyway, so don't hesitate to keep asking questions, and keep re-asking for a reading, because sometimes they all come in a great big lineup. Okay, Jenna, you have a very interesting reading. You have got the River card, which is the card of surrender. So usually this comes up in people's readings when they're wanting to obtain something. They really want something, and sometimes they can be they want to control everything in the outcome. Like, I want to have this business and I want to control this, this and this. You want to control the time, you want to control all aspects. But sometimes you just have to surrender. And sometimes you can be having like all these things thrown at you, and you're like, oh, and where do I even start? You know what I mean? Like, this is too full and I'm really, really overwhelmed. And once again, it's surrendering to the divine and surrendering to the higher purpose, and really learning to trust your intuition and trust yourself. It's okay to let go and to go with the flow. The card that it's beside is the womb. Now, this is that potent card of the divine feminine and your creative power as a female. So being right beside that surrendering card, it's like, do you have really creative ideas? Is there something really creative you're wanting to give birth to start a project, a business, something very specific? And it's also a card that's asking, and almost it's like a demanding feeling, that you step into your power, that you acknowledge your power. And yes, one half of it's going with the flow, but it's because you trust yourself enough that you are going with the flow. The third card is really beautiful. It's the box. Now, see how you got your little light right at the middle, and then there's like tens, hundreds of boxes. This is like, I want to burst out of these constraints that I've put upon myself, or society or families put upon myself. It's where we feel confined. I'm actually wanting something different with my life, and I'm feeling like I need to burst out of these boxes. And it can be specific people, it can be programs, it can be family members, parents. Different ones have said things to you like, oh, that's not going to work. Or maybe it's even having to burst through old family patterning, things that don't serve you any longer. So, is that resonating? Have you got a project you feel confined and you're really wanting to birth and bring it into fruition and creation? Because that's what it's really, really feeling like to me. So, hope that helped, Jenna. Beautiful, Lawsa. And there's lots of people who are lacking the energy. So I'm just going to actually just ask, like, what archetypes what do you need to hear now? So it's a bit more of a general reading. I feel like the lack of energy is actually just the energies that everybody's in at the moment. I don't feel like it's like something that you've done wrong per se, or something specific just to you. Sword. Death and rebirth. Here. Jenna, if you've been looking at a few business ideas like that, surrender to the fear of it. That womb card is highly creative, and it's asking you to step into your feminine power. And then the box is all those things that constrain you, like, can I do it? And then other people's perceptions and other things like that. I think you are more than capable. Like, that strong womb energy was like almost a demand. Like, come on, Jenna, step into your power. You are an amazing boss queen, and it's, let's go. Like, it's, sometimes I get a specific energy and push, and it's like, come on, Jenna, so you're more than capable. Believe in yourself. Okay. All right, Lawsa, really, you have the sword that's come first. So this usually means swift and decisive action. It's like, I must make this decision now. Yes, Jenna, most definitely. Visit it and go with your intuition. So, Lawsa, the sword comes through when we need to make a decision, like cut straight to the chase. And it can be sometimes when an opportunity is coming towards us, and we need to make a decision right now. And it can be sometimes a little bit of a shock. You're just like, well, I don't want to make a decision. But the energy and the archetype of this card is like cut straight to the chase. So it's like you're being forced to make a decision and cut ties and be very, very decisive. You have the Tear card, which is death and rebirth. So for this card to be right beside the sword, it tells me that you've probably either had to let go of friendships, something that was no longer serving you, even family members or a partner. Like, it was like decisive action, and you're going to have to keep taking that decisive action because you are in death and rebirth. Death and rebirth is mourning something that you've had to let go of, be decisive about. But at the same time, let yourself be into that just kind of void space for a few days, and then really get excited about what you're birthing into. Who am I going to morph into? Who am I? Just going to take a sip. Won't be 1 second. I think I've sucked in too much white sage. So remember, honor and mourn the old, but birth in and accept and get excited about the new stuff coming in. You have a truly beautiful card for the third one, and this is one of the most misunderstood archetypes. It's when, like the eternal child, you'll have people who come in and they can be quite optimistic, and they can be fun-loving, and you know, they just see the best in everything, and they have fun ideas, and they just want to have fun. And what happens to them is, as they're going and getting older, you know, their parents will be just like, oh, that's so unrealistic, grow up. And you might have partners and friends like, that's not how the real world works. And stop being silly, you know. And they put this card and they squash it down, this archetype of the eternal child, because in essence, they're jealous. Because we're adults and we're going around with all of our problems, and here's another adult and they're having fun and they're joyful and they're skipping around, and we want to squash them like a bug. How dare they be happy while I'm fucking sad, while I'm stressed out? So they squash it, and it actually wounds the eternal child, because this is who they are. And you're literally, by squashing their joy and telling them to not be silly and to grow up, you are actually telling them that they are just nothing and they're not worthy, and it hurts them very, very deeply. So when this card comes through, it means twofold. Don't let anyone squash your joy down and tell you that you are needing to grow up or stop being silly. Don't be naive. Have fun. And the other thing is to take ownership of that. If you have made your decisive sword action, you've made a decision, you've gone through the death and the rebirth, step into that joyful, childlike glee and just make decisions for you that are for fun and everything that you want to do, not other people. I absolutely love this archetype, and it's one of the ones that gets hurt and misunderstood. And you know, sometimes we talk about how children can be so cruel and they say all these things to each other, but adults can be incredibly cruel too, and they can be very incredibly cruel to this archetype. Even the nicest of person, if they're going about and then they see this person who's just happy-go-lucky, you kind of like go, and you know, it puts the hair up on the back of your neck, is to say, well, I'm not in a good mood, I don't want to put up with this. And they say snide things, you know. And I think it's one of society's biggest problems, because if we don't have the eternal child in out there being optimistic in the matrix at the moment with the unconscious, we are up shit creek without a paddle. These are the superpowers in the collective at the moment. The people who can be naturally optimistic will save us because they are naturally doing what we have to work for. So that's also a warning to anybody watching. If you see somebody who is naturally childlike and joyful and fun and let's go do this, don't shit on their parade, because you're actually doing far worse for the collective than you can ever imagine. And actually look at them and thank them for their service, because what they are doing for us on the unconscious level is epic. They are the Iron Man and the Thor and the Captain America of the archetypes and the collective, helping to hold up a lot of dark energy. So I hope that made sense, Lorza, and I hope it helped. Okay, let's have a look at Alison. I noticed a lot of new names. Let's have a look. You're most welcome, darling. Hi, Kylie. Kylie is one of the amazing people in my group. She has a pendulum workshop next Saturday or Sunday, is it, Kylie? And it's in Brighton in Brisbane. And you get a free pendulum and this amazing board thing, which it's got yes, no, maybe on it and stuff as a bonus for going to it. And we were just discussing this morning, Kylie, so it's awesome that you're on. And it's, you know, like people, we have tried pendulums and it doesn't kind of work. And she was taking me through like why it doesn't work, and it's how important it is for your own energy and to get to that place of kind of detachment. So your ego and everything's not in it. You can actually work with your higher self so that you get like it's a true tool and very, very useful. She's much better at it than I am. And Kylie's page is, let me get this right, Kylie, Wish Upon a Star Healing. So I just thought it was very amazing that you popped on when I was literally talking to you this morning. So I just thought I would tell everybody. If anyone is curious about pendulums, please go and tell her, talk to her. I was just wondering, will I get a job at Fred's Steak Burgers? And that's a very specific question, Jordan. I love it. I'll go for you next and see what comes through archetypally, because that is a very specific question. All right, Alison, are you still here with me, my love? That's really interesting. Alison, have you been wanting to either learn a new modality or start learning about a new business, or starting to learn something like tarot reading or healing arts, teaching, nursing, anything like that? So you have the kiss, which can be a new relationship or at the beginning of something new. It's that really fun, expectant feeling of like, oh, something new is happening. And, you know, like when you're in a relationship and it's your first kiss and you're like, oh, is it going to be a good kiss? Is it going to be a dodgy kiss? Is it going to be this or that? So it's really quite fascinating when this card comes through, because it can be both like literally a relationship, or it can be a business, like something, a project, something new, something you're excited and expectant about. The reason I don't think it's a relationship is because of the next two cards. Oh, Muriel, Kylie can, Kylie, have you got the link to your page that you can give to Muriel? So the Warrior has come through. Now, Alison, when this comes through, this is usually an indication of like you're taking a big step and you need to be courageous about something, which ties in with that kiss. Now, it can be a relationship or it can be starting something new. And the Healer, that made me wonder whether or not it's, yes, I'm starting my new business. So that's why it doesn't feel like relationships. But it's really hard with that kiss card, because sometimes it can be, you know, literally starting a new relationship. So with the new business, is it going to be healing based? Are you going to be helping healing people? Because this is really asking you to step into, like when this card comes through, you heal yourself by stepping up into your new business and declaring, you know, who you are. But that warrior is going to be needed as well. So what this is basically saying is you really need to own and verbalize what you do. really own and declare to yourself, the universe, I want to be highly successful with my business. I want to be divinely compensated for my abilities and all that I do, and really, step forth and work with that warrior energy so that you can really call your divine clients to you and step up and create whole new things. So, yeah, you've got many modalities. That would make so much sense. Are you part of my group, Courageous Sovereign Woman, that I've got? Your name looks really familiar, so forgive me if you are. But within my group, I teach about content, different archetypes and stuff on the business side of things as well, and about the different things. So you're going to be tested to really stand your ground in that warrior, and you're going to be like, this is who I am, this is what I can do, and really embody that healer and call in the clients, call in success, and stand your ground. And when that warrior comes in, sometimes it's not just an external test, it can be a real internal one. I'm going to have to be really strong to stand my ground and embody it. Like, I've been really working with embodying the priestess, the healer, the teacher, and the seer. That's what the last 4-5 months, really setting a lot of intentions. And I have been growing and expanding and embodying to greater degrees over and over and over. So we talk about our cup. Our cup gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Our light, our energy, our frequency, bigger, bigger, bigger. So I just feel like this is happening for you, and you need to be really strong. So if you go through an initiation where you're going to go from, I've got this, here's my business, my healing modalities and different stuff, but then your soul is asking you, okay, now we're going to ascend really quickly, and we're going to start doing this, this, and this. You have to activate that warrior so that you have that strength to push through. And I would really encourage maybe even do a little bit of a morning kind of ritual with that warrior energy. And it just seems like it's going to come up in some way really, really soon. And it's going to stay with you for a month or so, where you're going to really have to be in your warrior to push through. And I don't really have any sense of exactly what's going to happen. It just needs courage and strength and fortitude, and keep going. And just call it in. Wake up each morning and, all right, guys, I need my warrior today. I've got a lot that needs to get done. Actually, if you're launching different businesses and stuff, that would explain why you would need more stamina as well. So, but call it in and really, really work with it. Okay, now I'm just going to now I promised I would give a go for you, Jordan. Now, most people don't ask me very specific questions about if they're going to get their job at such and such, because archetypes, I'm not clairvoyant in getting like pictures in my head or hearing things like clairaudience either. So we're going to literally see what the cards come through and what messages I have, and see if they're in any way relevant. How does that sound? Yes, yeah, listen, you're being pulled in many different directions. Join my group, gorgeous. And I love supporting women who are really just starting their stuff. And it's going to be really hard when you have multiple modalities and you're just like, I don't even know where to start. And one of the other ladies I was helping with literally about 2 days ago, exact same thing. All right, Jordan, let's see what we have. Kylie, I don't mind if you put the link to Wish Upon a Star as well. I've literally just talked about you, and I'm quite happy to support you in this, Blossom. And congratulations on the workshop as well. It sounds absolutely amazing. Well, Jordan, I was asking, will you get the job? I wasn't asking about your boyfriend because, you know, honestly, I didn't see the second line. And I just answered the ones I've asked about the first thing. So these are the cards that come through, and they may be a little bit on the odd side, but we're going to go with it. Hey, Darlene, how are you? So the Temple talks about that need to nourish the mind, body, and soul. It's building a temple. So in relation to asking these questions of, are you going to get the job? Well, building your temple, nourishing your body and finances, I can see that. So I'm going to take that as a positive thing. Like, don't go into it with a desperate energy. Like, oh, I really need this job. Turn it and flip it around and go, I want this job so that I can create the abundance in my life, so that I know what I need, and flip it so that it's a really positive energy where you're nourishing your mind, body, and soul. You have the Father card that comes through, which is masculine energy. So don't be in your whimsical female, which we can sometimes get so intuitive and creative and don't take action. So, you know, maybe follow up after you've put your application in, take your resume physically in there, make a phone call, do something rather to take action. And you have the nectar, which is soul joy, which is fun. It's being nourished on a soul level. So that's a highly positive card. So I would say that that's a yes into you finding soul joy, but there needs to be some kind of action taken. And I worked at this place before. So if you've worked at the place before, are you able to use the action with the masculine and approach people that you knew? Or are you able to, have you got a connection in any, like, do you know any of the people there and go, hey, I really want to come back? And instead of kind of just leaving it up to things, you know, really asking for it and telling them why, you know, I really want this job because I want to create, you know, more financial security. I need to be more responsible and I'm really ready for it. You see how when you're talking about that, it's more aligned. It's not desperate kind of energy. It's more, I'm nourishing myself. And I would go and use that action card, the Father, and same place but different location. Well, they have to all be connected somehow. So see if you can use your connections in the previous place to help with anyone in the first one. You know, a lot of the franchisees and different things like that still know each other, and go into this new place and go, you know, I used to work at such and such previously and I absolutely loved the job, and I'm really looking for financial stability at the moment. I'm super reliable and I'm just so willing to work. And you come at it from a really high vibrational. I just keep getting the words, don't be desperate. If you go into it seeming desperate, I think that that's going to be the wrong vibration and it won't work. So even if you had the interview, you can still go and ask. They might show you that you're keen. And so I just think that you need to take action. So that's my only advice I've got for you, darling. I hope it helps. Okay. There we go. Okay. Jordan, it can't hurt at this stage. It really can't. I just go in, hey, I really enjoyed doing my interview the other day. I just wanted to touch base, see how things are going. You know, I'm really interested. Keep it to the point. Keep it masculine. Don't be overbearing and don't be desperate. Just be, you know. But I take action. That's what the cards are saying. So that's my my only advice based upon those cards. Good luck. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kylie, for putting up your link. So everybody, Kylie's put a link to her business page, and you know, go check it out. I'm very excited for her. Okay. Okay, Karen. You have the Mystic card that comes up. So when this comes through, you're most welcome, Kylie. I hope everyone goes flocking to your page and sees how awesome you are. So Karen, the Mystic is incredibly potent. So when you've got this card coming through when you're starting a business, it means that you can start with a concept, but it's actually going to be such a learning phase that you'll probably end up bringing more things into it. For example, when I started coaching, I started off with just doing archetypes. Then I brought in healing. Then I brought in business. And I melded this program together, which embodies all of my skills, not just one. So for the Mystic to be coming through, it's like a compulsive energy of learning and also adapting and growing stronger. So I actually feel like you'll start out with your business, but be really open to your intuition, because it can actually grow in different areas or expand to offer more, and be really open to trusting that intuition. And the Mystic is also a card of learning. It's a cleaning business. Still be really open. I think cleaners are one of the most amazing things. You have the animal in the castle, being really happy with your own skin and building something. So that Mystic card, if you get inspired by a divine idea, like say you might offer all natural cleaning options as a option for people, and they might be sensitive to chemicals, and then you have your other things, like, you know what I mean, like it's like you stretch out with different ideas and you'll have epiphanies and you'll be like, oh. And it also is a card of learning, the Mystic. So you can you'll be like, oh, I might actually research essential oils so that I know which essential oil will put in and might make the house smell calm. And I do these different things, and you're learning at the same phase. The animal is a card where you deeply get to know yourself well. You start to really own your gifts and talents and abilities and who you are. So, you know, you don't say, I'm just a cleaner. You're like, I'm the best cleaner in town. And you're really embodying who you are and speaking confidently about your business. And then the card, which is the castle, talks about building things from the foundation up. So building that business from the get-go, put it out there, advertise, walk around, go and introduce yourself to businesses, put yourself out there and grow it. But at the same time, don't do it wholeheartedly just for money. You want to do it because you're worth it. You know what I mean? Like, you come in with it a confidence feeling, not just a money grubbing feeling, if that's making sense. So I think that it's really potent, and you know, I get no negative feelings. I get no concerns. I get no, this is going to fail, no heavy feelings. What I do get with that animal card is it's going to grow as much as you are. If you want it to be successful and you go and you hustle your little heart out and make connections and network and talk yourself up. I'm a fantastic cleaner. Everyone loves my house cleans. Everyone loves my bond cleans. Go and introduce yourself to all of the real estate agents. Do everything and truly own it. Embody it, and then that's when you magnetize business and clients to yourself. And trust your intuition. That mystic, you can come up with advertising ideas and you're like, oh, I don't even know where that came from. What a great idea. So really trust your intuition, think outside the box, and do, you know, whatever comes to mind. Give everything a go. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Really needed to hear this. Yeah, I've got no sense of anything negative, Karen. It's all quite positive in my mind, but it depends on you. If you want it to be successful, then what are you going to do about it? That's kind of basically the energy of it. Is like it's in your court. The ball is in your court. Okay. So, the beautiful Leonie. Let me just smudge these cards, Blossom. I've got like a massive chunk of white sage. Okay. Alrighty. Leonie Tuara. All right, Blossom. First of all, I just want to say that this month has been really energetically and emotionally all over the place for a lot of people. It's almost like everything that's no longer serving us, we're having to face it. So I know that I've had to let go of some incredible blocks and illusions about myself and different things as I'm ascending into the next version of myself. So it's been incredible for me this month. So I just want you to know that you're not alone in it being quite full on. I'm just going to see what comes through with you. You have a twofold reading. By what I mean by that is it has like two meanings for like nearly all of these cards. So the first one is the crone. So the crone is a bridging card. And it also means like crones, like elders, wise people that we go to for advice in our lives. But it's also asking you to step up into your own wisdoms, see the patterns of your past and all the things that you are, it can, sometimes when this card comes through, the people can have a really tough life, because the people who hold crone energy and shaman energy and poet energy, they kind of put their hands up and they're like, you know what, I'm going to experience a lot of life lessons, a lot of suffering, a lot of hard stuff, and I'm going to put my hand up to experience it in this lifetime, and then I'm going to help people with it. So I feel like this card is actually asking you to go to people that you highly respect as teachers and who hold crone energy, for support. And if you don't have any, ask for some to be brought into your life. Now, crone is not an age. I can go into crone when I'm teaching. It's an archetype. I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced this, and here's the wisdom, and I'm ready to show you how I survived through all of this. And the crone is also a bridge, as I said. So people will come for advice. Oh, this is happening in my life. And you will just intuitively know how to get them from A to B. Now, if a lot of people have been going crazy this month, like we all have been, you may have also had an upkeep of not only dealing with your own shit, but you might have had other people coming to you for advice more than normal. I've had that. I've had my phone going off fairly crazy while also launching a new coaching program and also serving my current clients. It's been a full-on month. So that's very clearly twofold for me. Find some crone energy, people that you respect, elders, men, matriarch, like anyone that's got matriarch energy as well. The mentor come through. Twofold. Find yourself a mentor that you trust, that has high vibration and is in full integrity. It's no time for ego. It's no time for the guru. It's no time for putting someone up on a pedestal as unattainable. Your mentor has to be somebody who you can connect with, who is real and has gone through the things that you've gone through and can help you. Once again, it's flipped, and you can also be that mentor. So Leonie, if you are drawn to counseling, teaching, shamanism, spiritual coaching, helping through people with women's circles, anything like that, nurses, teachers, like all of those can have that crone energy. Oh, you got definitely. So you've had that going on. So the crone is so potent. Take ownership of that energy, because the crone can't actually be broken at all. Neither can the poet, really. They can dwell in the darkness of life. They can, if people are sick and dying around them and they've got cancer and, someone's just died, you will instinctively know what to say and how to help those people, because it's natural for you. You're not afraid of death. It's a very potent card, and own it as a superpower. I've been through the ringer of life. I've been through this, I've done that, I've had this crazy life of all kinds of things going on. I'm still standing, I'm still strong, and it's now time for me to be called to service and become that mentor and help other people. So your third card is quite beautiful, Leonie, which tells me there is an easing of the energies for you, and it's the kiss. So as I said before, it's that lovely vibration. I've had way too much going on in my life, and I recently just lost my great-grandfather, and I feel like it's all hitting me at once and it's overwhelming. Very true. But remember, the crones are unbreakable. So you can feel stretched to the limits, but you won't break. Now, the crone, just like any of the bridge archetypes, can almost go into shadow with overgiving. So you are fully, right now in this moment, are giving you full permission to pull back into your hut in the wilds of the forests and the jungles and just have some you time. You don't always have to give. The thing with shamans and crones and priestesses and the poets, because it's easy helping people, it's naturally a gift getting them from A to B and being that conduit for spirit. It's because it's easy, you kind of forget that you can actually say no. And you don't have to say no forever. You're just like, okay, everybody, I'm actually just taking a couple weeks off. And if they texting you or phoning you, just like, I'm sorry, I love you very deeply, but I just need a few weeks. And you can actually set a boundary as well with these people before you actually go into a retreat, and send out a message to everybody and just going, hey, I'm just processing and I need a week or two because I just keep getting this thing that you just need to breathe. And it's like there's too much going on that you can't catch your breath. So, I have no doubt that you can process the grief of your great-grandfather, because all crones can naturally move through the grieving process in a way that's beyond their years. Very wise, just like, but you have to honor the process. And my dad died when I was 21. Actually, from the years of, would have been about 16 to 21, it was funeral. Mum had cancer, survived. Dad got cancer, passed away. So my formative years were not fun. I wasn't out doing the party thing. I was helping people grieve. And it gave me incredible insight into death. And I think that you'll process it really well. And that sounds a bit strange, but you need to give yourself that time to breathe so that you can process it normally. I knew something was going on with me. You've helped me in ways you could never imagine. Thank you so much. Healing is definitely what I will do. Perfect. That kiss card, this is going to sound really weird, but kiss yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I really feel like it is that expectant, loving, something exciting is about to happen, something new. I actually just think that you really deeply need to take that time for yourself so that you can process, and you don't have to process for other people. And you're allowed to take that time. And I deeply honor your crone. I know some incredible people who have this archetype as their main one, and they do such amazing things for the collective and for all of us, because death can make people deeply uncomfortable. When my dad was passing away and when he died, there was people that were our friends for like 20 years who they just didn't know what to say. And we were so busy in the process of him passing away and with the cancer that we didn't notice that they weren't there. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a big obvious thing. And then they showed up for the funeral, and then they just never showed up again. And you're in total grief. You don't realize that. You don't even notice. And then after a year goes past, you're just like, actually, where are they? You know what I mean? And you realize that they can't handle grief and they don't know what to say or do. And it kind of is awkward. So you just kind of let things go. So people who have the crone energy are just amazing. and they serve us because there's people who don't know how to handle it, and they come to you naturally. And not just about death, about anything really. The crones are very wise. Oh, beautiful, Georgia Rose. That's you know, quite that is quite traumatic. I'll draw some cards for you, beautiful Georgia, and I'll see what I can get through coming through. I know a lady in New Zealand, and she is a coach for people who have experienced miscarriage, and she's just amazing. And she miscarriages and deaths and loss of children, and she's been through, I can't remember how many miscarriages herself, and she's just amazing. So if you need like support in a unique way like that, and you feel like you really want to honor that, just reach out to me, and I'll get you in contact with her. And she's just an angel. Now, in the description, there's my business page, which is Jess Beard Inner Alchemist, and you can just message me through there. And I actually feel quite emotional just tuning into your energy. So, yeah. And I'm not affiliated in any way with that woman's either. Like, it's not me trying to get a sale or anything else like that. She's just beautiful. Let me smudge these cards, and I'm going to see what I get for you. And Leonie's gone. I've been going down to the river a lot and having the urge to go to the river. I wasn't sure why. Most definitely, Leonie, but also on an archetypal level, the river is asking you to surrender and go with the flow. And if you can't allow yourself time to surrender and go with the flow, then that's a huge issue. So the river's teaching you. The river's giving you a message, and it's deeply comforting you. If you have a lot of fire signs in your astrology chart, you will be drawn to water to balance you out. I have like 3/4 of my planets are in fire, and you're pretty much guaranteed to see me in a bath or near water. I don't know how many times a week, because I need it to balance me out. So there's a lot of fiery grief and just a lot of energy. Water calms you down. So on a shamanic level, it's very powerful. Okay, so beautiful Georgia. I'm going to see what comes through, Blossom. I'm just going to ask, what archetypes does Georgia need to hear? Good night, Julia. And I'm so glad that that helped, Leonie. Okay, so Georgia, you do have the shadow card that's come up, but it's right beside the thread. So what that's telling me is you will have moments of where it feels really dark and gloomy and depressing, and the grief is almost too much. And so you'll have that come up. But it's right beside that thread card. And what the thread card is asking you to do is to look for the common thread for hard points, like trigger points. Is there certain things that evoke this grief and bring it up? Also, the flip side of the thread is their happiness. So as you're going along, take note of anything that makes you feel lighthearted, happy, joyful, so that you can keep doing the things that are bringing this vibration into your life. And then also look for things that are just going to trigger you back into the shadows and that grief that's overwhelming. Is there thought patterns? Is there physical things in the room? And are there things that you might need to let go of and actually donate to somebody? Or is there a ceremony that you need to do in order to find closure on something? You have the beautiful vessel. This is when we have miscarriages and stillbirths and things like that, sometimes we can feel really disconnected from our bodies and really almost like your body betrayed you, or is there something wrong, and you kind of just feel really disconnected. So that vessel card tells me that you will be coming back into alignment with your body and really being receptive and nourished, and the vessel will be whole again. So that's a really beautiful card to get with this particular question in this particular instance, because it does tell me that you will get whole again and feel like that vessel. And you know, like my group that I have, Courageous Sovereign Women, they're just such a lovely bunch of women. You can come in there, it's a private group, and you can share at any stage with different things if you're needing some support. And if you need some like actual professional help with this issue, then the lady that I know from New Zealand is a superpower in this particular industry and helping people. And I deeply honor you. You know, like it's not an easy thing, Georgia. You know, and there's no real words other than I'm deeply sorry, and I'm sending you so much love. Okay, so I hope that helped. Now, I am run a little bit over time, but I'm just going to say to Julie, I'm just going to be as quick as I can, Blossom, because I've noticed you a few times and I've wanted to get to you. Georgia, that's just really hard. But the vessel card is a really good indication, and that you will get back to that feeling of wholeness and being the vessel and being a strong cup, you know. So really beautiful. All right, Julia, I'm going to have to be as quick as I can. So you've got the chronic, which is, sometimes we grin and bear it, like we smile and we're like everything's fine, but underneath it we're not fine. You know, some of our greatest comedians on the planet have been secretly depressed. Oh, you got the dead end. So the dead end is when something like a habit or a person or a situation or a job, something needs to be faced and let go of. It's like literally facing a dead end. So you must have some kind of cycle or habit or sabotaging pattern or a dodgy relationship or a dodgy parent or something or other that needs to be faced. You know, once and for all, you need to move through this. And the third card is the ring, which is cycles. So getting rid of negative cycles so that you can actually create and build new healthy cycles. So when you say you have unwarranted negative events affecting you this year, I think I would encourage you to actually look in and go, well, is there a common link between all of these unwarranted events? Is it a specific person? Is it a common theme? Is it everyone's being irrationally angry? Is everyone lashing out at this? Is it, each of the events, is there a common thread? Is there a lesson to be learned that's repeating over and over? So that dead end only comes up when there's something that's within of us that needs to be faced and released. And it can be either a relationship, a bad habit, a old, like a family pattern, a sabotaging pattern, the perfectionist, the procrastinator. Do people lie to you? Do you lie to them? Is lying something that used to be comfortable but now's not? Like, it's all these kinds of things come up with that dead end energy. It can be a bit full on, but at the same time, for it to be in your reading right now, Julia, it's saying that it's time. So you're not going to be able to go through and to that next phase and actually get that energy shift you're wanting until you discover what it is that it is the lesson in all of the negative events. Is it that you're martyring yourself? Are you an empath in shadow? Are you giving when you need to be asserting a boundary and saying, absolutely not, I'm not doing this? So you need to really break it down and really assess everything that you're doing in all of these events and see, is my higher self trying to give me a message? And then really deeply listen. All right, everyone, I've ran over time. Remember at the beginning of this, I talked about the 3-hour workshop I've got. It's a Zoom online, and the recording will be available afterwards. So it's going to be on the 28th of February at 10 to 1 Queensland time, and it'll be $49. So listen to the beginning of this if you missed it to hear about it. It is amazing. And also don't forget my coaching course is the group coaching is launching April 5th. So everybody who books in and pays deposit and pays in full by then gets an extra month in the course. And it's going to be an amazing transformative vortex of transformation for people. So I'm a business and self-esteem coach. So I teach the archetypes, everything that we've been doing, to help people to understand why they're sabotaging and they need to shift out. So the business side of it's there for people wanting to start businesses and launch businesses, but then all the archetypes are there. So if you have relationship issues or just so stuck in repetitive patterns, you can actually come into the course for that as well. So it actually serves twofold. And as you've probably guessed, while you've been listening to me doing readings for other people, you'll be like, oh, I understand that archetype. I used to do that. And that's what the potency of archetypes is. So even if somebody comes into the course and it's predominantly to learn how to stop getting triggered with their parents and their relationships, even if you've come into the course for business, it's still going to cross-relate. So I'm really excited. I think I found the ultimate formula for this course. Now, I love you all. I've had tremendous fun. Thank you for spending your Friday night with me. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out on my business page, Just Beard Inner Alchemist, and send me a message. Or you can book in for a coaching chat with me. Loving you all. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now.